Welcome back. Let's turn our attention now to the insurance industry, as financial services industry is under investors' radar right now with capital raises, and we're seeing, the banking stocks and insurance stocks actually getting some pressure this time. But let's get a sense of what to expect as we go further into 2024. Join us now is Mrs. Yetunde Olubimi-Lori. She's the president, chairman of Council Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, joining me right here in the studio. Great to have you.
My pleasure being with you, Williams.
Yeah, so first of all, congratulations on your appointment. And definitely, I want to know how it feels to be the 52nd president of an organization that's over 60 years old.
Well, 65.
65?
Well, awesome, I'll say. It's a privilege, because not everybody gets there. And for me to be the 52nd president of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, I think I feel great about it. I also have a sense of responsibility, because coming at this time when economy is going through some stress, it's time to have somebody that will be hands-on. You take decision together with all other arms of the industry, so that we ensure that we take our rightful position within the economy of Nigeria.
And to do that, I'd definitely like to know some of your plans, with your latest appointment for the industry.
As the 52nd president, I have an agenda, and the theme for my tenure is igniting the bedrock of our envisioned industry. When people talk about insurance in Nigeria, we realize we are not yet there, but we need to get there. And this is an opportunity for us, out of every crisis, you must bring a gain. So it's time for us to sit together, strategize, and see how insurance industry can be repositioned. And this is happening across all tiers, because, for example, at the assembly, during the night assembly, we were not able to get out a reenactment of our law that has been existing for over 2 decades. But right now, even at the assembly is being looked at, we're putting things together, because, you need the right regulation, you need the right law, you need the national policy that will even get insurance to the right place that it ought to be. Right. So I'm strategizing with other colleagues across all arms, so that we can bring out something beautiful at the end of the crisis, so that we'll give the populace the kind of comfort that they require for the business.
Because everyone needs comfort at this time when you're having to deal with multiple macro headwinds right now. So everyone's eyes now is to the insurance. I need insurance. I need assurance, at this point as a business and as a person. But I know the Institute is known for producing, efficient manpower, for the insurance industry. What's the plan? Even though we know sometimes when there's economic hardship, morale could get low.
Yeah, you are right. I'm going to, my agenda is a 4-letter acronym, EPIC, where E stands for education, P for professionalism, is I for institutional recognition, and C for capacity building. All this we intend to do, putting together the right structure to ensure that the right talent is what we have within the industry. And when you have the right talent, when you have the right mind for everybody, you get things done, and then people get satisfied. We need to build what we envision. We need to get ourselves there. We need to move. Things will no longer be as it used to be. There's so many things that practically have changed, and we also need to move in that direction to provide necessary solution. So when you have the right set of people in place, you have the right minds coming together to strategize, and then you decide which way to go. And in actual fact, we have a roadmap that we intend following to deepen penetration, to give right advice to clients that are ready to buy insurance policy. If anything at all at this particular time, if I won't be jumping the gun, you look at devaluation, you look at inflation, and so for anyone insuring, we need to give them the right education to say, it's not just only about awareness. We've done a lot of awareness creation where we're telling people what insurance is, but the public also needs to understand how insurance works. And when you know how insurance works, you will do the right thing to ensure that if anything should happen in terms of what you have insured against, if the insured event crystallizes, you will be rightly compensated.
Right. And talking about, selling insurance, I knew that there was a time when it wasn't easy, getting
it's
people
still
to
not
actually
easy.
buy.
It's still not easy.
Is it getting harder, or are we seeing some improvement?
It's getting harder, but people are getting to appreciate what insurance is all about. What I mean by it is getting harder is, disposable income is not, insurance won't be the top priority, but at the same time, you need to know that you need to safeguard yourself in order not to run into trouble, because that could be the end of some businesses. That could also be the end of some lives if you do not take the appropriate step to be rightly insured.
And talking about trouble, how's your industry looking at this possibility, of protest? Because we know when there are issues with, cost of living crisis, people get edgy, at this time. How's your industry looking at, protests at this time?
Honestly, it's not, yes, protest, but we have to qualify it, either positive or negative. The negative side of it is what we don't want. There's nothing stopping people from expressing themselves legally within the ambit of the law. But when it gets to a kind of destructive protest, that's what we don't want to have. We had a terrible experience during NSAS, and we do not want same to be repeated. And so, at that time, we paid claims up to the tune of about 12 billion. And that is for the people that are insured. A lot of people were not insured, and yet they suffer losses, and they had to bear themselves. It's nothing we pray for. We don't want things to get out of hand. So if it ever gets to happen, we will just, encourage the law enforcement agents, the people that are in charge, do it peacefully so that we can get the result. You don't have, there's no point destroying lives and destroying businesses. People are struggling, so we shouldn't inflict more injuries and, set the entire country ablaze. We don't need to go, set the country ablaze just because we want to get a solution. But that people should express themselves. I don't see anything really wrong in that, but it should be done legally with the right approvals, with right guidance, so that the voice of the public should be heard, and then something should be done. And
right. We need a lot of cool heads
exactly.
At this point.
Exactly.
All right. Talk to me about sustainable decisions you intend to make, as a president, of this institution, and what we expect, under your tenure going forward.
Knowing that about 51 persons have gone, ahead of me, I intend to build and sustain with the ideals that they have put in place. Because actually what CIIN, that is the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, stands for, is we determine the standard of knowledge and skill that people should bring into the profession. So I intend to build on whatever they have done to ensure that, I've mentioned about the public education, just so that people know their rights, people know what they're buying, people know how to buy, and to pay for the right thing, all sorts of education. We want insurance to be the pride, the first choice on anybody's mind, because without adequate insurance, even the economy cannot go the way it ought to go. So the other thing that I want to do is I want to raise the image of the institute itself. I don't know how many people know about us, but yet we're doing tremendous things, churning out talents that even, not just for the country. Some people go out there, when you get to Canada and you present our certificate, it gets to some exceptions. I'm not saying people should jackpot, but that's the reality of the moment. But I'm saying the skills that I want us to build is supposed to be such that within our country, Nigeria, we're first class. And wherever we go, we compete equally with our counterparts anywhere. Then professionalism is something that I would love. I don't want insurance to be like a beggarly business. I get to you, it's like you are doing me a favor. Whereas I'm the one giving you the necessary cover to ensure that your business goes on. I want, that level of confidence to produce people that can stand up to anyone and then say, this is what you need, this is what you need to get, this is where to get it, and you are getting it. And then another thing is, A lot of companies are doing very well in the market, but nobody gets to recognize them. So my I in the EPIC stands for institutional recognition, where people are being awarded, where they're being put out there so that people know that, oh, for this kind of business, this is where you should go for. Another thing that I want to do, people talk about capacity. We do not have it all, so there's some kind of disciplines that we still need. Actuaries, we have the debt of actuaries, whereas they're the ones to help our business and help our business decision. In terms of aviation, marine, these are areas where we need technocrats, and we intend to possibly partner with other institutions outside the shores of Nigeria to get us there.
And we do wish you the very best as you carry on this responsibility. Mrs. Yetunde Olubunmi-Ilori, President, Chairman of Council, Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria. It's great having you on the show today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right, now, so let's get a check on what's playing out in the markets. This time, we see Total Energies marketing Nigeria